I will tell you on MMA guys though, I personally have never been around a faker group of tough guys than MMA fighters. To watch some of these guys, you get called to go to work 3 times a year. Do you know how many guys call in sick? I mean, I don't put LeBron James down as a tough guy. I don't put Tiger Woods or Serena down as tough guys. They would never not show up. They would never sit down and want to renegotiate based on who the next game is against. Like this is exclusive to MMA. And of those 3 times a year that they get called to go to work, they don't show up. Guys, his elbow hurts or his knee hurts. I couldn't imagine my elbow or knee not hurting. I couldn't imagine not making that walk when it's your time. But these aren't real tough guys. These are fake tough guys that want to cut the line down at the local strip club, get a tattoo on their shoulder, tell somebody about the good old day. I mean, the best of them, the best of them, which I would have to put is John Jones. You can't get him to show up for work 3 times a year. If John's not going to do it, why would anybody else?
But you don't think with MMA, for instance, right? If you look, you're comparing basketball and tennis, and for example, if LeBron James loses 10 games, 30 games in the season, doesn't change anything.
Sure.
Worst case, they won't go into the playoffs, or they won't make the conference finals or finals, whatever the outcome may be. But an individual sport, especially MMA, where you're only fighting once, twice, maybe 3 times a year, you lose 1 or 2, you're down the ranks. Your chances of ever making the big bucks or becoming a champion are pretty much slim to none at that point.
Sure.
You don't think that's the reason why a lot of MMA fighters are particular about kind of picking and choosing their opponents? I mean, look at Mayweather even. Mayweather was picking a lot of his opponents, and that's why he's 50-0.
I think there's a truth to what you're saying. I'm just sharing. If you got out a calculator and a pencil, the math doesn't change. If a guy will only do 1 fight this year and 1 fight next year, and he gets it, I mean, you're not getting better with time. His odds of winning aren't going to change. If he wants to delay the inevitable, which is the pink slip in the end of his career, go ahead. But I will tell you, I grew up in the sport of wrestling. And we would have 5 matches every Saturday. We'd have a dual meet on Thursday. You know, you're putting in almost 30 matches a month with weigh-ins. And that's a big deal. The number one reason that a fighter retires is not because his contract's up or he can't do it anymore. The number one reason you ever hear of a guy retiring is he doesn't want to make weight anymore. And that's just an interview that doesn't settle well with the world. So you just say, thank you, and I'm done. But it's that lifestyle. It's what goes into it, the changing of your physiology, getting up early, getting those runs in, not having enough food. The number one reason, the reason we didn't get Khabib versus Conor part 2, and the UFC changed all the numbers, and it goes from 2 million to 4 million, they changed all the numbers. They didn't look at the right number. If they would have made that 170 pounds as opposed to 155 pounds, they would have gotten that fight. But the number one reason people retire, they just got faced with this with Islam. It's like, look, you can cut Islam's career short like you did Khabib's, or you can let him go up to 170, but he's not going to beat that scale over and over and over again. It's the hardest part of the sport. And I'll just tell you, because you brought up some of these other sports or a guy delaying it. You're delaying the inevitable. You're not going to, you got to win the fights you can win when you can win them. And if you can't do it today, your chances don't go up that you can do it tomorrow. But I will tell you, from the sport of amateur wrestling, if I could just finish this thought, I have never seen a guy miss weight. I've been to every NCAA tournament in the last 34 years. They've never had somebody not miss weight. I could not tell you in Olympic Games, and I know it's not a literal statement, but I couldn't tell you, and I'm pretty good at this, where an athlete missed weight. We will have an MMA show every Saturday between the organizations, and you are guaranteed that somebody will miss weight.
I mean, we've had a half a dozen probably MMA fighters over the years on the show, and I still don't understand what's the point of cutting weight. Like, if you're walking around at 190, why don't you just fight at 185? Or
I mean, it's obvious, man. It's to have an advantage over your fighter.
Why go down to 155? That's it. Like, even this weekend when I took my son to, I was telling you in the car, to the local MMA fights, right? I mean, his coach is a tiny guy. And he had gone from 151 down to 134. And he's a small guy. 16 pounds, that's a big, huge weight loss for him.
Sure.
And I'm just wondering, okay, why don't you just fight around 150? Why do you need to cut down to 134?
And it ends careers, by the way. It cuts their career short. Dude, all those guys, Olympic champion and NCAA champion, but if you look at them, they're all retired by 27. And it's not because they can't do the game. They don't want to make the weight.
And there's a reason why they don't televise the actual weigh-ins anymore.
Sure.
Because a lot of these guys don't look healthy, man.
Yep.
they look malnourished.
But how come nobody fights at that weight? That's what
it's to have an advantage. Chael, what were you walking around at in your prime?
About 202 pounds.
So he's cutting down to 185, and then by fight night, what are you at? Are you
202?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
15 pounds for 200.
Point. Yeah, I get your point fully, and it's largely an American phenomenon. Like if you take the guys in the Eastern Bloc, or we were talking about Arthur earlier, if I'm saying his name right,
Arthur Alexander.
He cuts 2 kilograms, which is 4.4 pounds.
But he's a heavyweight.
Sure, well, 211 now, but he competes at close to what he weighs. He's not carrying any extra body weight. But I'm just sharing with you, the Russians don't cut a lot of weight. The Eastern Blocs don't cut a lot of weight. The Cubans don't cut a lot of weight. It's an American phenomenon. If I should be 185, I'm going to try for 170, and I'll do great at 155. That is a thought of children's dads.
But how are you going to do great if you're saying there's an advantage? There's no advantage if your opponent is doing the same thing. It's not like your opponent is walking around 145 and competing at 145.
Well, it's kind of like keeping up with the Joneses. If he's doing it, I'm going to be doing it. He's going to be doing it. He's going to be doing it. Everybody's going to be doing
Feels
it.
Like you're forced. Feels like you're forced to do it.
At that point, you are.
I don't think Fedor ever cut weight.
Well, Fedor was a heavyweight. Fedor just had to be under 265, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, he weighed about 236. But it's an excellent point. I'll share this with you. When those guys cut weight, it's largely their fathers that are making them do it. Like I see it. We have kids that are 8 and 9 and 10 years old, and they got the sweatsuits on. They're spitting into a cup trying to lose this weight. It really is a disadvantage. Yeah. I mean, when I watch the kids do it, I don't understand. I cut weight one time, and my father stood there and let me do it, and he didn't say one word. He let me do it. When we got done, he said, "You're a chicken shit." And I said, "Why do you say that?" Like everyone that I ever looked up to cut weight. I was a young kid. I was doing what all these other guys. And he said, because you didn't cut weight to wrestle somebody, you cut weight to get away from somebody. And it's true. And you'll never meet a guy that cuts weight for a harder fight. He's cutting weight to get away from what he perceives to be a harder fight. And I'm telling you, this sport is the fakest group of tough guys you've ever been around.
But I feel like that just happened. That's when it became the art. It's an art.
Yeah.
What's considered a tough guy?
Well, like an actual tough guy, first off, does not take naps in the middle of the day. An actual tough guy would have more pride for himself and his family to even take like you would know what to lie. You would never say I was at home sleeping. A tough guy doesn't talk about recovery. A tough guy doesn't act like going to work 3 times a year is a lot. A tough guy doesn't pull up an ass whipping contest because he's got a broken forearm or sore shin. A tough guy will understand that in a real life situation, if things are going to jump off, you don't say to the other guy, "What do you weigh? Hold on. Let me get on the scale. Okay, you know what? My shoulder's bothering me, but if I could just have a couple of weeks to prepare for this." That's not what a tough guy does.
Any blue collar man is a tough guy.
Any blue collar man is a tough guy.
I mean, truly.
Yes. My father was a plumber. He was a tough guy.
He
got
early,
up every day.
Go to work, take care of the kids.
No excuses.
That's a tough guy.
Dirty hands. You got dirty hands 24/7, you're a tough guy.
If you enjoyed this short clip, go ahead and click here to watch the full episode. And make sure to click here to subscribe to our channel to watch all other episodes of the WiseNuts podcast.